So what is good? We are Ayesha Richardson and
I am the Daniel Miller.
oh, but before you did the Daniel Mill, you are the
Oh, I'm sorry. I
beard,
am the
the beard,
beard, the
the bod,
bod.
which is slimming on down, y'all. Look at him, look at Slim and Trim. Look at doing some belts, okay?
Now I'm just
The
wearing my,
bod.
my, my black outfit today to make it thinner.
Daniel Miller. Oh, and this is no, really,
Really?
no
The podcast where the
real estate.
gets
It's
real.
real.
We're never going to nail that. I think that's. I think it's actually better that we never do nail
Yeah, great.
that.
I love it. Keep it spicy, baby.
Exactly. So, Aisha, what are we talking about today?
Right now, there's one type of real estate that is like always ready for buyers, and that is new construction. New construction.
You are not wrong. It seems like the little builders flags are like freaking everywhere. To be honest with you, like
Hmm.
everywhere, every corner.
Literally. And it's like when your people can't find, buyers can't find something, there's dang near one builder,
Sure.
oh, excuse me, or three who got what they need or something very similar. And builders have all kind of incentives, down payment assistance. I know there's one builder buying down. Um, One of my homegirls got, well, not buyer, agent. She got her buyer was a 3.1
Mm.
interest rate. If they chose to do something, and then if they didn't choose to do that package, they could get a 4.9 or something like that. But anyway, very low interest rates. That the builder is buying it down, and that's like
Yeah.
amazing. Um,
Well, and
so
sometimes
yeah,
not only are they buying it down, some of them are the lenders.
yeah.
They have their own little like lending company built in.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a open house with one a couple days ago at a new
Mm-hmm.
construction site, and similar thing. Your ongoing rate, like your 30-year fixed,
Mm-hmm.
was a 4.99, which is 1.5
Wow.
points below anything you can buy used
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yeah.
And then for your, they had on top of that for the first 2 years, there were two more point buy downs. So your first year it's actually 2.99, your second year 3.99, and then it flattens out at 4.99. In case the fun little terms we're using don't make sense to people. So,
And I just it's kind of cool. I find myself. I mean, I've always been a fan of. There's a particular builder that I'm 1,000% sold on. Regardless, they are my favorite, and that's because they semi-custom
sure.
properties, and which for those of you who don't know what semi-custom is, it means like you might start out with the Daniel plan or the Ayesha, but you're like, I kind of would like to take this office space on the first floor and make it into my primary suite.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or maybe instead of having a whole bath and a bedroom down here, I just need an office and a half bath. I don't need so they like let you change some things.
Yeah.
Um, and they automatically come with um, tile backsplash. You get like, even if you don't do any upgrades, you get tile, granite, and LVP flooring.
Nice.
In like the on the first floor. So it's like they already have things that other people charge you for or other builders won't give you. So yeah. So what do you think, other than the interest rates, giving the buyers a lower interest rate and offering some down payment assistance, What do you think are some good things or why buyers should be interested in new construction, Daniel? Do you have anyone that you, how do you talk about it to your people?
Yeah, definitely. Number one, it's not for everybody, and we definitely need to go through some of the negative stuff afterwards. But one of the most positive things, in my opinion, is the peace of mind. I mean, you're literally like you
Wait, let's
can't.
pause for a second. Daniel, you look very fuzzy.
Huh. I think
It's
we'll
like,
be okay because it's recording on my side. So,
oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay,
you're not
sorry.
fuzzy, thankfully, but
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. So, one of the most positives to me is the fact that like you can't have more peace of mind with the house itself. Like almost every
Mm-hmm.
builder has some level of warranties.
Mm-hmm.
I know most of the ones I've dealt with normally lay it out. Like they themselves will take care of the first year. So if you have some nail pops. Let me rephrase that. When you have some nail pops, when you have like some little oddities because something wasn't necessarily installed quite right, or with settling,
Mm-hmm.
something's happened. They'll pop back in there with their the 11-month warranty. You have the year, but they pop in on 11 months and fix some things.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give you the warranty cards for that microwave and washer and
Mm-hmm.
dryer and all that good stuff if you put that in the package.
Mm-hmm.
And then normally 10 years on the HVAC system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As a reseller, like the normal person just can't offer that.
Mm-mm.
There's some little things that they can do to help. Like you can put a home warranty with your house, but it's going to be a year. It's going to cost somewhere between $500 and $1,000, to be put on there. And there's going to be far more limitations than what
Mm-hmm.
those builders are going to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to get a replacement for your refrigerator. You're probably going to get like $500 towards it. Not not
If that.
bashing not bashing those home warranties
Mm-hmm.
because they are
I have one.
nice. Yeah, it's great, but at the same time, like it's not to the level of brand new things
Mm-hmm.
with the manufacturer warranty type things.
Yeah. I I tend to, with, let me see. When people go online to make reviews,
Oh yeah.
it's usually because they are complaining. And so there's one particular builder that even agents are like, "Oh my god, their reviews are terrible. They're like the worst builder in the world." Excuse me, y'all. They're like the worst builder in the world. Oh my god, I would never. My buyers. I'm like, yeah, okay, but you got to think like the broader your scope or the more areas that you cover, the more people have a reason to complain about something. Sometimes the complaints are legitimate and sometimes they're not. But you also got to think that when things are amazing, people don't usually go online and say, "Oh my god, this builder was the best builder. I had no issues with my purchase." Because if things went the way they're supposed to, they're just like, "Well, this is how it's supposed to go, so I'm not going to say anything." Um, so I also want the public to think about that when they're looking at reviews of different builders. How many of those reviews came from your specific area? Did those people with the negative reviews, did they have a broker working or a licensee? I don't know what state y'all in. We in North Carolina where we're all brokers. Um, do they have a broker working on their side? Because when you show up as a buyer, hey, I want to look at this house. The rep that's there works for the builder. They work for the seller. Their job is to get the builder everything and to give you nothing.
Yep.
But when you have somebody working on your side, when you hire your own broker to represent you as your agent, now you have an advocate. You have someone who's here to help you through this transaction and to make sure you get all of the things that you're expecting. And then, depending on our relationships, because this is a relationship business, the relationships that Daniel has with his specific builder rep from Ayesha Building Company, um, or I got a coffee cup people or the coffee cup builder company. our relationships with them, we may be able to get you a little bit more than what's just out there on the sign. So, or what's on their, whatever, on their marketing plan. So make sure you
Yep.
have somebody working for you. Um, I think I said three things at the same time, so sorry.
No, you're good. Well, actually, I love that you said that because whenever we were at the open house, I was there with a couple other agents,
Hmm.
and it was funny because one of the agents that made the comment, they're like, "Why don't you just include the refrigerator?" And I whipped my head around. I'm like, "No, you don't want them to include the refrigerator." And he just like gave me this puzzled look, and the agent was there, and I was like, every one of these I have sold. I have gotten my client the refrigerator at no cost. I am an effing rock star because I know to ask for it.
Yeah, man.
They'll throw it in if
Most of
the
them,
right
yeah.
person asks for it.
Mm-hmm. 'Cause it's about relationships, but
Exactly.
people don't realize that. And then there are agents, when like Daniel has relationships where he's in a coaching position for agents. I'm in a coaching position for agents. And even those people that are not in my coaching group, I am straight up like, look, these are some things you need to do. Like, go build relationships, go talk to people. Because what happens is when they get a new incentive, when they're opening a new subdivision, when they are running a new promotion, they're going to email, text, and or
Mm-hmm.
call Daniel and me first and say, hey, here's what we got going on. You might want to bring your people out. Hey, we want to tell you because we're not marketing this thing. We're not putting it out there for the public. We're only telling our core brokers, or well, that's what one group says. We're not telling, everybody. It's not going on MLS.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they don't all put their properties on MLS. So
Yep.
you may just be like, oh, where's my phone? Oh, I'm gonna find me a house today. You're not gonna know about everything because it's not in MLS, so you won't be able to find it on your
Mm-hmm.
third party site.
Right.
So there's lots of reasons to sorry to put my sweater on. There's lots of reasons to work with a broker and have somebody advocate for you
Mm-hmm.
in this here real estate thing. So
But
um what are some downsides, Daniel?
oh,
Working with
downsides. So, well, let's talk financial for a second. So, um, I have noticed, and I'm sure you have as well, and I'm sure statistically everyone has noticed, when you buy a new house, just kind of like a car, not like a car because cars depreciate extremely quickly, but there is a level of depreciation that happens that whenever it's an existing house is already at like a slower pace.
Ah.
So if you're planning on moving within the next year or two, you may not want to buy a brand new house because chances are you're going to have some additional costs there at the end. Like, you're probably, let me rephrase. In North Carolina, a lot of times you're able to sell at a profit. I know that's
Mhm.
not the case in every state, and it's not always the case in North Carolina, depending
Mhm.
on the economics. But
Mhm.
normally, property values going up. The
Mhm.
house does depreciate a little bit because a 1-year-old HVAC system is worth more than a 20-year-old HVAC system, and the
Mhm.
same with the roof and the hot water tank and the whole 9 yards, and the materials inside.
Mhm.
However, most of the time you can sell your house for a profit. But if it's
Mhm.
brand new and you're trying to sell it after just 1 or 2 years, it's going to be really difficult and you're probably not going to make a profit when it's brand
Mhm.
new. Like if you're the person buying it brand new.
And if the builder, if it's like if you bought like early or in the middle part of
Mm-hmm.
their being in that area, you absolutely, if you need to sell within while they're still building, you're going to be competing against new construction, and you may end up um taking a loss
Mm-hmm.
or not being able to get it sold because if Daniel and I both, like Daniel has a buyer, I have a buyer, and they're both looking in um Richardson neighborhood, and um both of our buyers have $400,000 to spend, and there's new construction still going on with the same builder who built your resale property. Your resale property, you may
Mm-hmm.
have gotten lots of upgrades. You may have, I don't want to say max it out because that's not always the best thing, but you may have gone above and beyond your property when you built. But now you want to sell your property for the same thing you paid for it 2 years ago.
Which is understandable feeling that way.
However, if our buyers are looking and they have $400,000, why buy a $400,000 house that you've lived in and use the systems
Mm-hmm.
versus, oh, I can get a new one for $400,000.
Mm-hmm.
You just helped me sell new construction all over again because it's the same builder.
Yep.
So you may end up, that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
the downsides of it. Um,
Well, and especially like we're
Another,
talking about the loan stuff, like
mm,
if that mortgage is, most purchases are done with a mortgage with houses. I think it's 80 some percent, if I'm not
mm-hmm,
mistaken. If you're in one of these where the builder's the financer and they are doing, these crazy numbers like we talked about earlier, the resale, they're not going to have those options. Like you are
mm-mm,
looking at a six. I think it's 6.3 is today's average. And that's on the low side right now. So how are you going to compete with a 4.99? You know, um,
mm-hmm,
yeah, you can't at the same price. You literally have to lower the price yourself to
mm-hmm,
compete. So.
mm-hmm. Um, Another thing that's a challenge for some buyers, like I have a couple right now who are looking, and every house they've ever bought, they've lived in 5 states. I think he was in the military, and every house they bought, with the exception of their first house, has been new construction. I said, okay, well, because they're selling their house in the state they're in, I said, well, let's look at new construction here because if it's already in process, we don't have to worry about paying extra money or doing extra deposits, or what if your house takes a little longer to close that you're selling over there. You have more security without losing or making the owner mad on the house you're buying here when you do new. And I set them up. We did a virtual with one of my builder reps, and the one of the parties said, you know, I think the house was nice, but there are too many properties over there that look the same. I don't want to live in a cookie cutter neighborhood. And I was just like, yes. And then they're
Mm-hmm.
not paying, $700,000, so they don't have the luxury of getting new construction and having every property look, relatively different, because there are going to be some similarities in like paint color or siding colors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even though like one builder will not let the elevation is the way the front of the property looks. So Daniel and I could both buy um the Cheers plan, but Daniel and I will not be able to have the same front door color. We won't be able to
Mm-hmm.
have the same stone. We won't be able to have the same shutters. One of us may need to have a porch and the other one can't have a porch. So there's things that this one builder is like, hey, we're not going to let everybody look the exact same, even if this the Cheers plan. But they're in a neighborhood where there are two other builders.
Mm-hmm.
And those other two builders don't care. They just like, oh, you want a Daniel, you want a Daniel, you both get a Daniel. You like blue, you like blue, let's both get blue. And it's like, ugh. So
Yep.
now they're out because they're like, I don't, there's too much, it's too much similarity in that area. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
So, go
oh,
ahead. No, go ahead. I want to hear the and on this.
with these tract builders, these regional and national builders, it's all about numbers. How
Mm-hmm.
many people can I fit into into this space? And so
Mm-hmm.
because it's all about numbers, the roads are more narrow,
Mm-hmm.
the lot sizes are smaller, versus if you buy in a custom new build, you get more space. But I've noticed that even like out in Summerfield, Oak Ridge, where there were lots of them were like 2 acre lots. Some of the newer builders are doing like
Mm-hmm.
1 acre or 0.75. And I'm like, dang, even y'all. But it's there's no more land being made unless you're in Dubai, where they built the island. They ain't building it in North Carolina. So it's just about like when land runs out, land runs out. So,
Yep.
or you end up moving out into an area where there aren't as many amenities. You may be in a space where there's not, you might have one grocery store. You may have one gas station, but the gas station may be like 7 miles up the road. There may not be anything yet in that area because the builder is the first one there. So they got to bring the people to
Mm-hmm.
get the systems and the amenities. So is it going to be uncomfortable to be out in the middle of nowhere for 3 years until you start getting some shopping centers? Yeah. Are you able to get high speed internet? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Lots of things to think about.
True.
Sorry, Daniel.
No, you're good. I will say one negative on the semi-custom and well, the semi-custom because normally if it's a full custom, you've probably purchased the lot yourself already and you've hired somebody to come in. Normally with full custom, but with the semi-custom, the two actually it's one issue, but I'll give you two different examples.
Okay.
They will nickel and dime you to death if you let them. So the one example that I'll give you is we have a situation. We're in a rural. I'm in a rural part of North Carolina. You're a little less rural, despite the name
I
of
can't say
it.
that word. I sound extra special when I
Rural.
do. I always spell it. R U R E
I
L.
yeah, I have to slow myself down with it, really. But so that being said, there is a very large interstate that runs through here, 8 lanes, and sometimes builders have to be like right up against it. And again, unlike urban areas, we don't have the concrete sound barriers and stuff like that. You get to see those houses sometimes through some trees, but
It's there.
getting to the point. I ran into a situation where I was looking at some lots that you could literally throw a football and hit a car driving past on said 8 lane highway. And most people that have any amount of hearing, and probably even if you don't have hearing because you want to resell your house at some point, don't want to live right there.
Getting about of hearing.
So they have their own little private road, as you would, like in the neighborhood. And if you want on the inner side,
Uh
so
huh.
you could
Where your
probably,
backyard is not at the highway.
yeah, not far. Like if you
Across the
could,
street.
yeah, exactly across the small neighborhood street.
Mm-hmm.
If you want one of those lots,
Oh, it's a
they
premium
will
lot.
exactly. Your cost just went up $12,000 for it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
again, Ayesha, Daniel, any realtor worth making money with, they're not going to let you pay the 12,000. You're still going to have to pay something, but just the fact that it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you don't want 8 lanes of 80-mile-per-hour traffic in your backyard. Here, pay me an additional $12,000 to do this. And then, of course, whenever I think we may be talking about two different builders, which is fine. There's a lot of semi-custom builders out there. They will go, hey, so here's the price. We'll throw a random number on it. I don't want to go real high, but let's say it was 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
So here you can get this house for 500,000. But then right off the bat, before they actually like start building it, they're like, oh, you want an island in your kitchen? That's going to be an extra, 3,000. Oh, you actually want a concrete slab in the back so you can put the grill on something other than dirt? Ooh, yeah, that's another 3,000. You don't want carpet in your bathroom? That's going to be, that's going to be an extra $2,000 so that you can have some a really cheap linoleum, or you can do the LVP for 4,000. And once we get all the base stuff taken care of, why don't you come down to our shop and get with one of our specialists, and we
Mm-hmm.
can really start nickel and diming you. Which, in the scheme of things, it is much cheaper to go ahead and have it done this way.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
it is cheaper to let them nickel and dime you to get the house that you want, but just be careful because that 500 can suddenly become much closer to 600. And you can move these numbers wherever you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Here you're looking much more like 350, 400 rather than 500, but in some places you're looking at a million and going up
Mm-hmm.
for the exact same house. So
Yep. Because location, location, your location.
exactly.
And so, look, let me say this first, too. Not first, because I'm like
Mm-hmm.
27,000 points in. Regardless of who you hire to help you with this new construction, please let me tell you this. If you are designing it from the ground up, the light fixtures and the ceiling fan that the builder's gonna charge you are 47 gazillion percent marked up for what you're gonna get at the Lowe's, the Home Depot, or your favorite Jeff Bezos website. Okay, so please ask them to wire for ceiling
Mm-hmm.
fans, but buy your own daggone ceiling fans.
Oh,
Don't worry about
$100.
those pendant lights are so cute. Yep, guess what? You can get them online too for a lot cheaper. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't know how to screw something in, you can find somebody who can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say the ladies. It's a lady list. It's her name. List, you can go in there. There's gig work. There's Fiverr. You can find. You can phone a friend. Hey, do you know somebody? Your agent knows somebody who a handyman to come put in some pendant lights in the ceiling fan. Come
Mm-hmm.
on, man. Don't
Oh
do
yeah,
that. So I just saved you $2,000 right there.
hundred
So
percent.
you're
Yep.
welcome.
But do make
I'm
sure they
glad.
go ahead and install the bracket, so because that
Yeah, get it
becomes
wired for the
expensive.
ceiling fan,
Yeah.
but don't buy the ceiling fan. Just like, nope. Put your regular light, whatever is included. Don't say
Mm-hmm.
free because it ain't free because you paying
No.
for it. Whatever's included. I want that light, but I want it wired for ceiling fans because otherwise you're gonna have you seen the ceiling fans just like this?
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not wired. So there's that. So all in all, Daniel, like overall, I think new construction is a great
Oh, definitely.
option.
It certainly
Um,
is.
it's not the only choice. It is a
Right.
choice, and I know,
Mm-hmm.
I know. Like I'm helping a couple right now who they were. I was like, look, and okay, this is just my opinion. I don't run nobody, and that's it. And that's all. The greatest generation is the greatest generation for a reason. They built things to last.
Yep.
We build things to replace. Like,
Mm-hmm.
think about the cell phone, man. Like, come on, B. No.
Yeah.
And so things that were built in the 50s and 60s were built solid as a rock.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, if I had it to do it, let's go find you a house built in the 50s and 60s and let's make that work, right? However, if you don't have the first year of home ownership is the most expensive. Even if you don't have to replace anything or repair anything, you still have to buy it. There's that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to move. You have the startup costs of all the utilities and all the things and stuff. You likely have to buy some furniture or something to go into said new property because the house you're buying is probably at least one room larger than the place you were renting before. Then you have
Yep.
many times you have to buy a refrigerator because refrigerators in North Carolina are personal property.
Yep.
So there's things that you have to do just off the gate that are going to make your first year expensive. Um, and so for those reasons, I was like, look, guys, I know you want something built by the greatest generation. I said, but if we can't find something, let's look at new. And here's the reasons why. You're going to have the peace of mind that Daniel spoke about. You're going to get warranties on all of your appliances. You're going to have the
Mm-hmm.
builder warranty. Yeah, it's not going to be what you really want, but guess what? You're not paying rent. You're not chucking your money out the window. And you can either you choose to rent this out later or
Mm-hmm.
choose to buy something bigger. But buy the house you need today that's going to fit your budget where if somebody loses a job, if some kind of major change happens on one income, you can afford it. And many times new construction is the way to go just because of there's one builder that's giving 18,500. Yeah, $18,500 um in down payment assistance in assistance that the buyer can use for their down payment and or closing costs. And they're buying the
Mm.
rate down to I think 5.5%. Or not, shouldn't say buying it down. They are giving the buyer a five and a
Yeah.
half percent interest rate. So it's like 5.5% fixed. So off the gate, you're winning on your interest rate and the money that you have to come out of pocket with. Is it the house you're going to love? No. Are there things that you are going to dislike about the house or the neighbors? Yes, of course.
Always.
But nothing's perfect. Even if I designed it myself, I could wake up the next morning and be like, oh man, I shouldn't have had a window right there because the sun is shining in my eye too hard. Like something's going to suck that you're like, oh, I wish we didn't do X, Y, or Z. Um, so yeah, it's an option, not the only option, but don't discount it because there are benefits to it. And if there's nothing else that meets your needs on the market, guess what? They got inventory, and if they've already built it, and they're sitting on it, they're like, hey, fire sale. Here you go. We're gonna throw everything at you. You want a house full of blinds? Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Yep. I will say the last little plug for us too. So most of the time, the builders will pay us. Like normally, it doesn't have to come out of your pocket, and with very very few exceptions, because the builders love us because we're running around, showing their places on their behalf. Now, that being said, though, if you don't have one of us and you don't have somebody with that relationship with those builders,
You can
let's
call us.
say, yeah, let's say you're
Sorry.
like, oh man, I really wish I could move into, this neighborhood because I really love those houses, but, they're down to the last house in that neighborhood and it's not the one I'm looking for, so I'm going to go look for something else or I'm going to go to a different builder. We may know, do you have 6 months? Because that builder's actually going to be building the exact same neighborhood, obviously not identical, but the same houses and, about the same thing. A half a mile down the road, they're going to start breaking ground in about 3 months and they'll start advertising in 6 months. But I already know about it because of my relationship with them. Or sometimes the opposite. Like, oh, yeah, they told you they were going to build some more houses. They were.
But
But there's a little hiatus. They're going to pump the brakes on that for a year. And I
uh-huh.
know you need to move within the next 9 months. So we need to go ahead and start looking at a different builder or a different house or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good to get us involved. Again, there's some exceptions. In most cases, though, if we don't get you in a house, we don't get paid. Um, Again, check your contract because technically we can write in otherwise in there. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I don't think Ayesha does. Um,
Oh no, you gonna pay me, sucker?
I mean, there is a line for that in our agreements,
Yeah.
but I think in 99.9% of the cases it's unwarranted, and the ones there where it is warranted, it just sucks for us. But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, get us involved. Feel free to reach out and ask, and you know. I don't want to say don't just like go strutting into the builders' buildings because all the sales reps I've met have been really nice people.
I plead the
Um,
fifth. Like they just been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
Aisha's like they're people. People are people. There's good
People are
ones. There's
people.
bad ones. There's everything in between.
No, I mean, yeah,
Get your help and your representation. It's probably not going to cost you anything extra anyway, especially with a new build. So,
yeah. And look, we there's a reason that we are your advocate. Like,
mhm.
listen to your broker. So this is not about new construction specifically. Got a call. Today is Friday, Wednesday. And the lady was like, "Hey, I'm looking at a property that your office has listed for sale, and I want to know if blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Oh," I said, "Oh, let me pull it up while I'm whatever." And as I'm pulling up, I said, "Well, while I'm getting my system open, I said, are you working with an agent already?" "Yeah, I have one." I said, "Oh, you should probably call your agent and ask your agent all these questions." I said, "But here is the generic." She wanted to know. She asked me about a loan type for this specific property. I said, well, you should talk to your agent because your agent is the one who can answer that for you. The listing agent said blah, blah, blah about this loan type. Well, literally, another agent on my team, we were in the text and B said, Ayesha, I got a call from that same person. I said, well, was it a blah, blah, blah area code? She said, yeah. I said, I told her to call her agent. Here's the thing, guys. When you have representation, we are here to protect you. Now, let me just say, if I were a turd bucket, which some people are because people are people,
There are every industry.
I could have said, your agent doesn't seem like they're helping you very much. So why don't you and I meet? Let me help you out here. And then I could, now it would have been dead wrong, maybe. In some, it's a gray area. It ain't really gray to me because, but there's this kind of a gray area where, technically that agent could have been considered abandoning the buyer, maybe. But if you talk to other agents without us or other representation, somebody who works for the opposite side, you can get taken advantage of and you're losing your protection that we give. Besides the fact that what if you go in there spilling your guts or asking for things? If we don't know that you asked for it and they said yes to it, we can't hold them accountable on the contract for doing that thing. So now later, you're mad because you thought you were getting a house full of blinds and a side-by-side refrigerator with a TV in the front, and you don't get no refrigerator at all, and they only gave you some little some little baby mini blinds that you got with a string on it. They don't even make them no more. You know what I'm saying? So making sure that you talk to your agent, your broker, who you have hired to represent you in the transaction, so that we can make sure you're getting everything that you have asked for and that they've agreed to, and that we can make sure it's in writing. And so we can also hold them accountable before we close, because once you close, it's on you, baby. Your house, your problem. But if we catch it beforehand, we can stop the process and make sure that everything is working the way that it should be. So there's
Yep.
reasons why you need a broker. It's not just, we're not, I mean, some people, ride around in convertibles, drinking their coffee. That's not real life, not in North Carolina.
Yeah.
You see them selling the sunset, but that's TV. So just saying. But yeah, thanks, Daniel. I feel like I just
Thank you.
rambled again.
Hey, wait, that we're not supposed to ramble? Now you tell me.
That's my twin over there, y'all.
Oh. So,
So yeah, Daniel. Anything else you can think of that we didn't tell the people about new construction and having a broker?
I'm sure there's something else, but it would fall under the needing a broker because they'll know your specific situation and be able to help you out the most with it. So, speaking of, I know you need to run because you have to go take care of one of your clients. So, congratulations to you and them.
Yay, thank you. I'm excited for them. Y'all. So let me just say, I really get excited when first time buyers
They're
find the
the
house
best.
they need. Like, it makes my heart smile. And these guys got more than what they were looking for. And here's the best
Nice.
part. They listened to what I said. Me and Daniel, we're not allowed to say, you should buy this house and you should offer this amount of money and you should ask for this. That's not what we do because it's your house. You're the one buying it or selling it. We help show you the pros and cons and we help you weigh the options of making a decision or not. And however, when we say you need to make sure you got your money right, you need to make sure you have this amount of money available because even if like these people are VA, they're one of them is a veteran. So with the VA loan, part of the VA loan benefits is 100% financing. But 100% financing just means that you don't have a down payment for the loan itself. So if I'm borrowing $500,000, my loan on closing day will be for $500,000 minus whatever deposit I paid the seller. So if I pay the seller $5,000, then my loan will be for $495,000. Now, do you notice that I already paid $5,000, so it's not completely free to me, because there's still money you have to pay out of pocket.
Yep.
So there's deposits, there's inspections, there's appraisals, there. I think that's about, well, and I'm going to group lots of things with the inspections. But having the conversation with your broker will set you up for success
Yep.
so that you'll be prepared. We also help them figure out like what property will actually work for your loan type. Because if you want, I want 100-year-old farmhouse and I'm using a VA loan. Well, let's see, have they remodeled this farmhouse? Because I've been in some farmhouses where I can literally see from the inside to the outside, okay?
Yep.
And the VA is like, yeah, nah, B, we ain't doing that. Nah, go find something else. So that's where we get to educate the buyer and help them make the right decision so that they can reach success, which is finding the house. We found the house, we wrote an offer. Did I have to negotiate some things for them? Yes. Did I have to advocate for them? Because the seller was like, we don't want to do that. And I was like, well, you sure? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they were like, oh, okay, cool, we'll do it. And now they're under contract. But that's not where the real work begins. The real work starts now because we got under contract yesterday. So now it's making sure that everything that we thought is actually happening. So you need someone on your side, guys.
100%.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Hey, you're good. Thank you.
The beard, the bod, the Daniel Miller.
Ayesha.
No. How can I reach you, Daniel?
Oh, how can they reach me? Probably a text or an email would be the easiest. 919-200-0220. Or even easier, the Daniel Miller at kw.com. How about you, Ayesha?
336-685-1018 is how you can call me or text me. I prefer a text message over email because I get literally, as a licensee, as a real estate agent, I get 100 emails a day of somebody trying to tell me something, sell me something. So text me, y'all. Please text me.
Yep.
Or you can go to greensboroughhouseprices.com. And if you're looking for a daycare, y'all, let me know because I got a couple daycares that are available and ready to go. One of them is in operation, one of them is not, but it's a really cool building. So just saying, I'm moving into commercial this year, and apparently daycares are my thing right now. So there's that.
That is amazing. I love it.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Ayesha.
All right, y'all. Have a great day.
Bye, y'all.